Hey guys, this is Nick from Games Galore, and today I want to show you guys something that it took me a long time to do. A lot of new tries, restarts, and just overall large amount of attempts to get. It also takes a lot of research and things, but I formed the Holy Roman Empire as Austria. It's actually not as hard as you think it is. As you can see, this is 1649. I own this, including Constantinople down here. I have what? I'm training over my force. I have 270,000 troops to get about. Could have forced them to 284. I have the most troops in the game. Ottomans are second. The Ottomans have this about. So yeah, this is what the world looks like. Muscovy kind of died early in the game, although I ended up allying with them. I'm allied right now to Muscovy, Sweden, Spain. I have the Netherlands vassalized, Trier vassalized, allied to the Papal State, Moldavia vassalized, and yeah, and Spain I'm allied to. But yeah, so we're going to be going through a time lapse. Oh, yes, and Frankfurt, if I didn't say I have vassalized. We're going to be going through a time lapse of how I did this here, what countries I took, what I did, and yeah, just overall how I did it. So if we go into timeline mode here, and we go to the beginning of the game, of course, I played as Austria. And so we're going to go walk through, like, maybe medium speed here. So the first thing as Austria, what you want to do is get a royal marriage with Bohemia. Not an alliance, but a royal marriage. It's very important because you need to get them as... Oh, yes, I took this and this early in the game in a war with Bavaria and Saxony. It's very interesting. I started off the game not even thinking that I was going to be forming the HRE, but I realized once I got Bohemia as a personal union that I was going to be able to. But it is important that what I try to do is, if there's anybody that starts with more than one province in the HRE, try and take their provinces that aren't like their capital, or just leave them with one. Like later in the game, I'll end up from Saxony owning all of the Saxony provinces except for Sachsen, which you probably saw in the beginning. This number one, it kind of makes people not declare war on each other as much. It makes you stronger, of course. It makes people fear you more. It helps people outside the empire not want to attack and take land inside the empire. It's just overall a good thing to have. But you also have to do it very slowly, or else these people aren't going to like you. They're not going to vote for you to become the emperor again, as you guys I'm sure know. So yeah, the first war I did, which was early, 1457, was to get this land from Bavaria and Saxony. It's pretty much all I could take because of aggressive expansion. But at this point, I definitely already had Bohemia and Hungary as under personal union. So yeah, back to that. You get a royal marriage with Bohemia, and hopefully you have to get lucky enough. I had to restart a couple times before it happens. You have to get his heir to be a Habsburg. When he gets a Habsburg heir, you can get the mission to claim his throne. Or not a mission, you get the option to claim his throne. If you claim his throne, you can declare war on him and his allies. You fight them. If you win, he's under your personal union, and you get Silesia. His Silesia is still his vassal, which he'll annex long before you ever integrate him. Hungary, I'm sure you guys know, it's much easier to get a personal union over. He almost always gets a Habsburg. He might actually always get one. It's also very easy. He sometimes just has the option to straight up join you. He'll just become your personal union. You don't have to do anything. In this game, actually, which was really annoying, he allied to France, and he thought, oh, I'm so cool now, I'm not going to go under Austria. So he allied to France. When he got the option to go into my personal union, he declined it. So I got the casus belli to declare war on him under restoration of personal union. And so basically, me and Bohemia fought France and Hungary. Probably one of the more difficult wars I've ever fought in this game. I did win. It's very important what I did. Basically, I set everything I had, and I kind of looked at what Bohemia was doing. We both went over, just slaughtered France, like not slaughtered, although we lost quite a bit of battles, but we went over to France, and that was our main push. And we took Paris, we took many of his forts, and we pieced them out of the war. And then I went over and I finally fought Hungary, which at that point was difficult because I had to reinforce like 20,000 guys. Bohemia had like no one left, and we had to like try and push up on Hungary, who had barely even been injured in the war. So he was over here sieging down my capital and stuff, which I had to multiple times come back for, so he didn't win. But eventually I did win that war, and right off the bat, and like you can get it probably by 1550-ish, maybe a little, probably like 1552. You can have Austria can control Bohemia and Hungary. Now think about that: Austria, Bohemia, and Hungary. This entire section owned by one country. It makes you, well, number one, it makes you by far the best person in the game, which you basically start as just as Austria. But it's really, really, really good. And from that point on, we can keep going. I'll go on a faster speed. Bohemia next to Silesia. At some point, I will annex him. I also luckily for me, this doesn't always happen. Hungary was a lot on his own long enough that he got a claim on whatever the Serbian provinces over here. Got a claim here, so I was able to declare war on Bosnia and Serbia. And I took provinces just like this to actually lock off the Ottomans from being able to take Bosnia and Serbia, which they ended up living there for a long time on their own before I did anything. Which also, another good thing, somehow Venice fought Ragusa. Don't know how it happened. I wasn't paying attention at the time. I didn't notice it until after I fought Bosnia and Serbia. Took Ragusa, which is really helpful because Ragusa is obviously a fantastic trade prompt. So I can't click on it here to see. But getting it from Venice is much easier than getting it when the Ottomans guarantee Ragusa's independence. So that was really nice, actually. Then there I fought Venice. I reused Friuli, took Istria, as that was actually a mission at the time, to Ragusa. Finally finished killing Bosnia and Serbia. So at this point now, I fought a war with Poland, which actually you'd think would be difficult. But it was against Brandenburg, Poland, Lithuania, and I had Bohemia, me, and Hungary. And I might have even brought in, probably I was allied to Cologne and them at the time. I probably brought in some of those guys. We did win. I beat Poland up enough. It was actually really, really difficult. I released his PU over Lithuania, although of course they allied, but it is still a good thing. The main reason, though, I took this province, which is nice because later on I'll be able to add it to the empire, which is of course a good thing. But it's going to really slow him down, taking out the Teutonic Order, as he hadn't gotten to do that yet. Although he had fought Muscovy. This is what I meant when early in the game he lost. Moscow was already taken by Poland stuff, so it's not an easy war to do. This is by Denmark. Denmark and Poland, Lithuania, they kind of double-teamed him, which was unfortunate. But, yeah, I ended up later allying to him just to kind of stop the spread of Denmark and Poland, Lithuania. So that was that. But, yes, and then I took Berlin and some of these provinces from Brandenburg. It's also helpful to take as many provinces before the Protestant Reformation as you can, because you'll be able to get casus belli, and then much easier to declare war on them and take out Protestantism in their provinces. So as this game went, there were more wars I fought. I annexed Bohemia there, as you saw. I took Friul. But yes, I annexed Bohemia, which is great. I took a bunch more from Saxony, as now at this point he just had Sachsen left. Of course, during all I fought Burgundy as well. During all this, it is very important to keep people like Mainz here. You have to quell them, because people, if you don't pay attention to them, you'll have guys like this that just take over a huge swath of land, and of course you lose imperial authority because of that, as there's less princes in the empire. So eventually I'll do a war against him. I'm not sure what one point it is, and I'll just release all these guys, as you can see he's taking stuff from Saxony over here, and then there's the war I did release Thuringia, Hesse, and all these people. But yeah, I then actually, which was nice, I fought Burgundy again over here, took Nevers and Collaray, which was great. At this point I was allied to Spain. But yes, I was able to use that. So it was kind of funny because I was in the heart of France over here. Normally France, of course, gets that. Then I annexed Hungary, which at this point makes you look really good, as it's 1555 over here, and you can see Austria. I was able to be bordering the Baltic Sea up there, and Mediterranean, Gulf of Italy over here, Mediterranean, which was actually kind of nice because I was actually helpful, because up here against Denmark, as you guys probably know, I'm sure Holstein is in the empire in the beginning, so it's actually very annoying because at some point you have to take that from him, which can be a really difficult war fighting Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. I ended up supporting Sweden's independence. The first war I did was with the Swedish War for Independence against Denmark. Of course, he was free. He didn't give me anything, but I was allied to him, and then later on I was very easy to kill Denmark at that point. I also allied to Muscovy, which helped. But carrying on. More wars against Burgundy, people all over the place. We're going to go in slower speed here. Now, the Protestant Reformation was happening, and I'm sure it actually started happening probably around 1520 or something, much earlier. So now I was going around killing people like Switzerland and all these guys, forcing their religion to make them go back to Catholic. You want to conserve as much imperial authority as you possibly can, because as people go Protestant, you lose imperial authority. Plus, you don't want them to join the Protestant League, which will, of course, declare war on you, and if it's big enough, will kill you, which is going to be, of course, something that I've this whole game been anticipating and getting ready for. I took Jayland up here. I believe it's pronounced Jayland. Well, now once you take it, it's Sealand. But I took this because it was a Protestant Reformation center. It was actually the last one at the time, because Great Britain, for me, stayed Catholic, because in the beginning of the game, when I beat up on France, he declared war and took all this stuff. So he had enough Catholic provinces that he was like, well, I'm going to stay Catholic. And then he ended up killing Scotland, removing the one up here, which was great. Of course, one popped up in Switzerland. I believe one popped up in Frankfurt. There was one, definitely Jayland, like I said, and there was one in Utrecht, I believe. All these people that I had to find ways of killing, declaring war on them, forcing their religion, whether it be declaring war directly on them or their allies or whatever. I had to do that. But moving forward, I killed Wallachia, which was nice because I was now bordering him. Killing people like Augsburg, making them release people like Memmingen anytime they took people. More wars with Poland. I took Krakow over here. I took Holstein back finally. Now, at this point, I've been just kind of. At this point, I'm really good. I'm constant, almost probably not 90, probably about 70% of my time up to this point, I've just constantly been at war. Whether it's with little guys in the empire, just trying to like release nations or whatever. But I was just constantly war. Like here, I took Hesse because you, as Austria, you could take anything in the empire you want, anywhere as long as you're the emperor, which is great. So I was doing that because now this gives me borders in lots of countries. But yep. So now we're carrying on over here. Oh, this is where I fought my first war with the Ottomans. I just basically took these 5 provinces over here. This was actually a very, very easy war. I was all geared up. I was like, I'm set for this. This could be really difficult. And my army tradition at the time was probably 75. And I declared war on the Ottomans. And my land morale was probably 6.5, and his was maybe 4.5. Much, much, much higher. So it made fighting him really easy. And I just kind of went through. He was also at the time, I believe, fighting the Mamluks, or maybe he was fighting Muscovy or somebody. But I was able to take all this stuff, which was great. Because that takes away a big threat over there. Now we're getting close to where I am now, which at this point, of course, I'm still passing reforms. I probably at this point added all these provinces to the empire, which of course gives you this just alone probably gives me what, 35 imperial authority, which is almost an entire reform. And when you're this big, people like you because you threaten them, or they feel threatened towards you, so they like you, and so they'll vote for your things, which of course is really nice. More wars with Poland because he was at the time the biggest threat. My wars against Poland later in the game, I fought like 4 of them, were much harder than anything else I'd fought. Yep, keep fighting Poland multiple times. I did the Lithuania, remember, was free up here, so he's able to do whatever he wants. At this point, the only 2 Protestant people left in the game, what is it, 1633? Actually, no, at this point, I would have already gotten them back. But Pomerania and Brandenburg were the last 2 people Protestant. It took me a while to convert them, but I eventually did. Now, the Netherlands formed, and they were taking provinces out of the HRE, which was really annoying. I had to fight them multiple times. I declared war on them. I actually vassalized them, and then here was I formed the HRE. At one point, of course, those guys were all my vassals because that's the second to last imperial reform. And so I fought the Ottomans again down here, and it was such an easy war because I didn't even move my troops, but like 300,000 of my vassals' troops just went out and just mobbed them, which is great. And so here I am as the Holy Roman Empire now. It is still only 1649, like I said, and I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I believe I just got out of another war with Poland or something. But yep, this is the Holy Roman Empire, 1649. At this point, I can easily slaughter anybody that I want. Here, we'll go and play for a second. Oh. My cores are finishing. Of course, this game had no cheats or anything. This was legit. But yeah, this is basically what I had. If you want to see, I guess I have a lot of rebels rising up because I only recently formed it, although they're all pretty low. I'm still coring things. I have over my diplomatic relations because I hadn't known if I had vassalized people on my own. Like these guys I had to vassal. I released them from Lorraine right after I got the second to last imperial form. And so they didn't accept the when you vassalize them all, they didn't accept it. So I ended up vassalizing them diplomatically after, which apparently I thought when I became the Holy Roman Empire I'd still annex them. Like that's what I did with Moldavia too, but that didn't happen. So now I still have to actually annex them, which is kind of annoying because I'm gonna be losing a ton of diplo power. But it's all right. I can already start annexing them, I believe, once I get the opinion. Yep, I have nice papal influence here. Probably go with one of these, something like. Diplomatic reputation is always helpful. But yep, guys, that is my game. It's actually funny. I inherited a bunch of my guys had colonies. I've never had a colonist or anything, but I have the Holy Roman Empire, or the Holy Roman California, which is hilarious, and the Holy Roman Louisiana, which is also hilarious, and then a whole bunch of random islands all over the place like this, and there's a bunch over here. All these are all mine, which it's pretty funny. Oh, Manchu's up here. I never even saw that. Wouldn't that be funny if he formed the Qing dynasty? That'd be pretty cool. But, yep, I control all of Central Europe, basically. Germany, modern-day Germany, Netherlands, a bunch of Eastern France, a bunch of the Balkans, even into Anatolia over here, the Venetian area. I'll probably start moving into Italy some more, and more into the Polish, Ukrainian area very soon as well. But then they formed a big coalition, which I ended up breaking as the Ottomans allied to Poland. The Ottomans were allied to Poland, Lithuania, and France at one point. And France was allied to Poland, Lithuania, and the Ottomans, and it was like the quadruple alliance, which is really difficult because I had to find an exterior way of killing one of them to make them release the alliance, and then, yeah. But, yep, guys, that is my game, forming the Holy Roman Empire as Austria. I'm going to probably keep playing this, and I'll give you an update of where I am after that point. Now it gets to a point where I have to core things, and I have to core a lot of things. Although I'm actually, yeah, pretty much almost scored most of what I have now. But it gets difficult to keep taking land. But, yep, guys. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps you. If you guys want to see me do an actual playthrough in real time, like playing Austria, everything I actually did, or a tutorial on how to get Bohemia or something, just let me know, and I will be sure to do that. So, thanks, guys, for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Feel me like a Hellcat.